show them a nice welcome? Okay, I don't think I need a microphone, do I?
No.
I think as long as you guys are willing to listen, I don't need the microphone, right? No. The reason why I asked you guys to back up is because I'm here to give you guys a demonstration with my bull whip. I actually brought a few other whips. You see this? Okay. And I wanted you guys to get back out of the way so there wasn't any chance of anybody getting touched with it unless it's on purpose, right? Okay. And a few of you guys will get a chance to get up close and personal with it. But I think you guys understand this as scouts, right? And I used to be a Boy Scout. Safety is rule number 1, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, I know you guys are really eager to hear it and to see it move. But I'm going to explain a couple things before I do that, okay? First of all, has anybody ever actually seen one of these, not you, in person before? And not on television? Can I ask you, where did you see somebody performing with a whip, not on television?
My neighbor's house.
Your neighbor's house?
Not my wife.
Okay. Okay, all right. Yes, you. At a museum. Okay, so the whole point of a whip, right, is to make this loud sound. Yeah? We just call it like the crack of a whip. Okay? That's the whole point of it, right? Hang on a second. Shh. Does anybody think they know what is actually happening when it makes that sound? You, sir.
The air is putting a lot of pressure and it makes a snap noise.
That's not wrong. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yes, sir. It breaks the sound barrier. So, let's discuss the sound barrier for a moment. You guys understand that light travels through the air, right? And light travels like really fast. But sound travels as well, doesn't it? If I stand way over here and I go like this, it actually takes a moment for the sound of my clapping to reach the ears of the people in the back, right? That moment, okay, depending on how far it is, could be a long time. Sound travels at 768 miles an hour. So everybody clap. 1, 2, 3. All right? 768 miles an hour is how fast the sound of your clapping was traveling through the air to reach your ears. Make sense? Now, if a physical object, something that has mass, travels faster through the air than sound can travel, then you get what you said. You get what is called a sonic boom. Okay? So here's how a whip works. You've got this long, sort of heavy, braided piece of leather. It's actually a bunch of pieces of leather. And you'll notice that as it gets longer, it gets thinner. As it gets thinner, it can travel faster. And this is what makes all the noise. This little piece of black nylon string.
That makes a noise? What the heck?
What the heck? When this little piece of black nylon string flies through the air, when it flies through the air, it goes like this. Whoop. That's all it does. It doesn't hit anything. It doesn't slap itself. I don't have to hit the ground with it. When this little string travels through the air and goes like that, and does so faster than 768 miles an hour, you get a sonic boom. And that is the whip cracking. You guys ready to hear one? Yeah! Okay. Now, I don't think anybody's dangerous staying behind me. I don't think they don't stay behind me.
Don't want to whip my hand.
You can stand over there.
Don't whip.
All right. Now, linoleum floors are a pain in the butt for bullwhips, but here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the whip go in one direction, and then it's going to go in the other. See how lightly I did that? I barely did anything because the whip is actually designed to reverse direction quite easily without much effort. Now, I can make a lot louder than that. But I want you guys to see how little effort it is. But the whip is out.
Whoa!
So as you can see, if I do it really lightly, you get a little minor crack. If I just go a little harder, you get that nice, loud. Right? Somebody, I need your help.
Give me a phone!
Alright, I'm going to ask Master Dylan to come over here for a second. And Mr. Dylan here, I know Dylan, so we've worked together before, but he is actually going to help me out with a little minor stunt, okay? Now, you saw me crack the whip, and what it was doing, it was breaking the sound barrier, okay? Now, I don't want to hurt anybody with a bullwhip, of course, but there are things you can do with a whip that are not going to hurt people if you know how to do it. One of them is you can actually wrap the whip around somebody. Okay. Arms up. And you can do so without hurting them at all. In fact, I find this trick to be almost like anticlimactic. People, they put their arms up and the whip cracks and they're like, what happened? Is it done? You know, because the thing goes around them and there's really no pain of any kind. Are you ready?
At least we hope there's no pain.
We hope it's not pain.
Stay still.
I'm going to have Dylan, give Dylan a round of applause, by the way. Now we're going to go a little more dangerous. So we're going to get the scout leader over here.
Oh!
Let's see, why don't you go, essentially, this is the same trick. Instead of going around his waist, I'm just going to go right over his arm. Pretty straightforward. You guys want to see something more dangerous than that? Boom, like that. See? We've got a pretty useful little multi-purpose weapon here. Let's give Mr. Tyler a round of applause. We're going to get him back over here in a second for another trick. But I want to explain a little bit more about what a whip does, okay? It's a noise maker, right? Now listen. Wait a second. I know you got questions. It's a noise maker. I don't want to lie to you guys. There are people in this world that use things like this in a very cruel and mean way. That's not what I do. It's very irresponsible to use any kind of a tool to hurt people, right?
Like a gun.
Like a gun? Okay. What I'm saying? Hush.
Use a gun.
I know as Boy Scouts, you guys know how to be.
Yeah, I know.
So let's do that. Here's what I want to say. The purpose of a whip is to drive cattle. That's why it's called a bullwhip, right? So, you're up on a horse like this, and you're riding your horse, and you got a bunch of cows, little guys like you, and then you get that one cow, Dylan, over that way. and he's out of the back, and you go, hey, you! Okay. The point of the whip is riding the horse and moving to the back, right? The direction of the animal is going the wrong way. And you crack the whip right over the head of the animal. Just to get its attention, just to say, hey, you, we're talking to you. And the cow goes. And he goes back in the line with everybody else. Okay? That's what a whip is for. Okay? But
Boys, you need to
What?
be listening. You need to be listening.
when you get an audience, you can do a little showing off, as I've already done, okay? So I'm going to do a little more showing off. That would do a little bit more target work, okay? No, Mr. Tyler's going to help me with this one, okay? All right.
I know what's happening. I'm not telling you. You'll see him.
Fancy handled whip.
So cool.
Are we ready for this one? Maybe one more. Drop the ring right away for a second. Thank you, right there. I think that'll do. Ready?
Whatever.
I told you that was going to happen. No, I didn't tell you, but that's what I knew was
Okay, wait. Now. But wait, there's more.
Sit down, so you don't get hurt.
Forget that I have two hands.
I know it's happening, Kaden. Double one can do that.
Guys, don't touch that stuff.
They look back to the bubble.
Are you guys ready for a little bit of two-handed whip cracking? Sure? It'll blow your mind. All right, get the right hand. Left hand. Same time. Okay, we go forward, back, overhead. Okay. One forward, one back. That's okay, right? How about this? guys. With a one-handed whip, and that'll be my little finale, okay? And then I'll take some questions right after that, okay? So give me one more second. Here we go. All right, I'm going to explain some whip cracks to you. This is called a cattleman's crack. It's called a reverse cattleman's crack. Okay. This is called an overhead crack. That.
Come on, kill me, I do.
A reverse overhead crack this way.
Oh.
Try that again.
Kill the
Front, behind. This is called a fast figure eight. You go quickly like this. Okay. You can do it all. When I was doing the two whips at once, I was doing that real fast. You can wrap the whip around yourself. There we go. Okay, that's my demonstration. So who has a question? You, sir.
Can you do the double whips again?
I can in a minute, but let's hear some more questions.
Thank you. Is there any more tricks?
Are there any more tricks? Well, you know, if it weren't such bad weather, I was going to bring a bunch of flowers and cut all the heads off the flowers, but I went outside today and everything's dormant. I don't know what's wrong. I guess it must be December. Yeah.
No.
Not you, not you. You.
Hey, are you actually Indiana Jones?
Well, what's your name? Are you actually James? I think that answers that question. Sir.
How do you make the whip sound?
How do you make the whip sound? As I was explaining, sonic boom. When you make the whip reverse direction and the whip uses the taper, it speeds up that little tip of the whip, and you get that nice, loud sonic boom. Yes, you. How old am I? 39.
Can you show us your gun? No. I doubt that's a real gun. There you go. No gun. He accidentally left on
Hi-yo! Did you take his gun?
I think it got left behind in Shanghai.
I stole it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you.
Where do I get my whips? That's actually a pretty good question. The internet. But, more to the point. Let me explain. There's not like a whip factory, okay? You don't call it the whip factory. The whip, please. No, it's not like that. These are made by individual people. They are all cut and plaited by hand, okay? This is considered a 12-plait, 9-foot kangaroo hide bullwhip, okay? So what you've got here is you've got 12 different strands. This is only 8, but of course you've got 12 strands of leather, all being plaited together. There's actually 2 smaller whips inside of this whip, if that makes any sense, okay? You plait a little whip, and you put a piece of leather over it, and you plait another whip, put another piece of leather over it, and then the overlay is what you see, and that's 12 plait, okay? And kangaroo hide, you guys know kangaroos, yeah? You hop around with a little pal. The skin of that animal is very strong, and it can be cut very thin. At the very end of this whip, you can see how tiny these little strands are, but they have a lot of tensile strength. So what you do is you call a whip maker, or you use the internet, and you order a very specific type of whip, and a few weeks goes by, and they get a big piece of kangaroo hide, and a kangaroo hide's only about this big around, right? But this is a 9-foot whip, so how do they get the long strands? How do you think they do that? Not just super thin. How do they take a piece of hide that's only this big around and get something that's 9 feet long?
Overhunt kangaroo. Some really good scissors.
They cut it in circles. They start in the center and they go like this. And they cut long strips. And they get the whole hide. And they get long 12 strands, and they plait it together, okay? So that's what you do, is you kind of custom order these things, and they're made by one person. And they're not cheap. Like I always like to say to little kids around Christmas time, whips are expensive and dangerous. Probably not going to get one for Christmas. A whip like this costs upwards of $600 American.
I bet it costs
$1 million. Young man here, question. Shh. Yes.
Do you have any fireworks? Because that sounds kind of like fireworks.
It does sort of sound like a firework, right? It's not. There's no sound effects in this room. You guys understand that all that noise I was making was coming right off the tip of this whip, right?
What is speaking? Speaker.
Sorry, what? Speaker? Oh, you think there's a speaker in the room?
Yeah, there is. There's two speakers right up
A
there.
speaker can't really control the volume that well, right? I can make it loud or quiet. Kind of quiet.
Oh, yeah. Go louder. Loud. Do it again. Ow.
Do it again.
Can you make the loudest whip sound you've ever done? Okay. Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to make a really, really loud
So, it was really loud in my mind. I think that's where it matters. I will remember it as the loudest ever. I hope you will too. All right, I will take one more question, and then I'll do a little more double whips, and then we're going to quit. This young man.
How did you get into this?
What a great question. What a great question. So I used to be a Boy Scout like you guys. And in Utah, where I grew up, you know, we did a little horseback riding. And sometimes you'd be out there on a trail, man, you'd see like a snake. And I tell you, there's a crack called the snake killer. It's real easy. It just goes like this. That's a dead snake, my friends. Okay? So I got into it because I thought, you know, if I'm going to be out riding around and there's some wildlife out there, it might be good to have a little whip to protect yourself. You can scare off animals with these things, okay? If you go hiking where you're worried about mountain lions and stuff like that, seriously, bring a whip along. You see an animal coming at you, and you just be like, hey, look out! And the thing will just take off and go along the other direction. I don't want to mess with you. And if you're really big like this, see like a rabbit out there, be like, yeah, last question. Where do I live?
Why are you asking that?
I live in New York. I teach at a university.
Yeah, you're not in here.